This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. If you're too lazy to read a book, Google is a great source of information for knowing things about the law and learning how the democratic process works. They have things like the Bill of Rights, the United States Constitution, the 14th Amendment, and most importantly, how impeachment works in the United States of America. If anyone is telling you right now that there is a possibility that Donald Trump can be impeached, it's just clickbait. You know, everybody can rant and rave and hoop and holler and curse and all these other things, and he should be impeached and he should be this and that, and why aren't Democrats doing that? I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit. Get an education, because you're really making complete asses out of yourselves. Now, Civics 101, and I'm going to say this for the last time, hopefully, that everybody that sees this message will spread it to the other idiot that thinks that just by screaming impeachment, you can make it happen. There are laws in the United States of America. Everything is not based on how angry you are, how much you can curse, how many followers you have on YouTube. Things get done by work, grit, determination, and knowledge. And knowledge is power. And one thing I have learned since I've been on YouTube is there is so little knowledge out there about the process, but many people willing to run off at the fucking mouth about things they don't know about. Now, I've been a civil rights activist since the 1990s. I've worked with the American Indian movement, some black movements. I've gone to protest way before you motherfuckers thought about this. So this is why this angers me. That my ancestors died for your freedom so you could get on YouTube and speak like an idiot. And most of you who are doing it are white. And you're trying to influence people that look like me to think like you. No, before you decide that you're going to become involved with something and make a statement, come correct. Stop with this radical fucking anger and bullshit. Because it's not viable, it is unsustainable, and it is getting you absolutely nowhere. Yes, YouTube might be paying you because you get clicks and you get subscribers. But you know what? It's not doing anything to help us out of the situation we are in as Americans. If you have time every day to put up 10 podcasts, then that's time that you're taking away from activity you can be doing to educate yourself about what you're talking about, number one, instead of just using hostility to get clicks. And doing something actively to change what you are bitching about. And that's what I've seen is lacking on YouTube. A lot of people are putting a whole lot of stuff out there, promoting independent media and stuff like that. But they got all day to sit there every 10, 15 minutes to put shit up. But they're not reading. And they're not doing it in a factual manner. So when I say that all these people talking about impeach Donald Trump and all that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, let me give you an example. First of all, in order for Democrats to impeach Donald Trump, we have to be in the majority in the House of Representatives. In case you missed it, the House of Representatives majority is Republican. Not only that, the Speaker of the House is Republican. So anybody can talk about impeachment, but it will never pass there. Google it. Trust me, you might learn something. Second, if by some miracle enough people voted for impeachment of Donald Trump in the House of Representatives, and then passed it on to the Senate, you need 2/3 vote in order for him to be impeached officially and removed. Does the Democratic Party have 2/3 of the Senate? No, they don't. And they have Mitch McConnell. And they also, in case you haven't noticed, have the Supreme Court. And everybody under the sun who is mesmerized by this cult, who are going to come out and start assassinating people as soon as they think that Donald Trump is going to not be in power anymore. That being said, same people are telling us we have to be peaceful and not defend ourselves against these tyrants. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told my mother today. When we talked about the Supreme Court ruling as it applies to birthright citizenship. Now, I do understand that the ruling does not give Donald Trump and his administration complete agency over who is a citizen and who is not. That was not what was decided today. However, while you're talking about impeachment, Stephen Miller is crafting a way to make that message sound differently to the American public in such a way that law enforcement agencies all over the United States are going to think, well, we can arrest anybody at any time for anything in support of ICE, because these people's citizenship is now in question. That's the reality of this. So when you're up there with your shit on talking bullshit, the rest of the people in the United States that look like me have to deal with this reality. So, back to what I told my mother. If you think for one moment that this ruling is not going to extend or be a precedence for a movement that allows for the removal of all non-white citizens of the United States of America that was born here, you're a goddamn fool. And you should be concentrating on that instead of these false promises about impeachment, just so you can get clicks on your YouTube videos. That's the problem older folks like me have with getting on YouTube, because there is a very good group of independent media people that are out here putting out the facts as they are. And then there's another group that once they get so many subscribers, they start, spewing bullshit, just thinking the rest of us are going to come back and watch it. You're not MSNBC. You're not CNN. You're not that big yet. So bring it down a notch. Get back to the facts. Humble yourself, because you have a lot of learning to do. A lot. And people like me have a lot of knowledge to give. But when you at any time talk this bullshit about impeachment right now, and how the election is going to change things, and not protest, and not contacting your red state senators, I'm not going to listen anymore. Because that's bullshit. I've lived through that. You haven't. So take all your shiny ideas and, how you're going to save the world, and why don't you apply them to some actual fucking work? This is the John Brown Alliance. Good night and good luck.